Alliance, like the one thing that has kind of been a bit of a saving grace for them, at least, is how smart they've been in terms of when it is a high percentage fight blank. They play really smart PUBG Mobile, at least in the sense of playing the numbers, right? Playing the percentages. If it's a low percentage chance to actually get anything beneficial out of it, they don't throw it away. They're not going to go for it. They'll at least play smart. And I think that's one of those things that can be a big backbone, a big boon for teams like that. If you know how to prioritize fights, where to really maximize your point score. Looks like we're having a bit of a rehost on this one, though. The headsets where to really maximize your point score. Not too bad. I mean, honestly, we're having a bit of a rehost about 60 seconds there, so it's not the end of the world. It's not as if anything's been shown too early. We can kind of have the ability to run this one back and keep things consistent. Just means it might be changed a little bit in terms of the circle and the playing path we'll get next outing.
Yeah, I think for Mad Bull's shown us a little bit of a different change of pace there for themselves down towards the south side and Los Higos. Maybe that's a play they don't pull out again. Usually drop it over towards Puerto Paraíso at the end of the day. So again, playing path could be wildly different. So could the circle. I think that's the first time in a while it heads up far towards that northwest side, giving some of those teams on the northwest edge a little bit of an easier time to rotate on it. But again, it's all in the past. Got to put it behind you now. Think about this as a fresh match indeed, whilst you wait for these teams to get themselves back into the game. BTR on your screens at the moment.
Here's a quick one for you, Blank. Whilst we get a rehost going, let's have a quick rehost riddle. What kind of running means walking?
Kind of running means walking.
That's right, Blank. What kind of running means walking?
Ooh, dude, why do you always hit with these rehost riddles? Because I am horrible at the rehost riddles, mate. I'm terrible at it. And I could just Google it, but I'm not that guy.
You've got more respect. You've got more respect than that,
I've got respect for the rehost riddle. I don't know, it's like a competition, like a walking competition. Because you're in the running for a walking competition?
It's not bad. I like where you're going with it. It's not the answer I've got on the sheet, Blank. It was running out of gas.
Oh.
Yeah, running out of gasoline there. Petrol.
So you have to get out the car.
Yeah, you've got to walk, you see.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I think I went too deep into it there. I tried too hard. Yeah, that's what I always do on these ones, though.
This is great, by the way. This is the sort of thing that I would like take a picture of and then put up in the back of the boot camp facility.
Yeah,
the smiles and thumbs up.
I do like the tossing of the heat pack as well, just
slamming it down. Yeah.
I've got 2 games left. Just let me play the game.
My hands are too warm.
Dear me. But yeah, still waiting for the boys to get back into it, it would seem. Do apologise, of course.
Well, it is your fault. You know, you did release the technical gremlins into the building, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
And they're in the
I let them out the cage.
Exactly. I've been warning you. I've been saying you shouldn't feed the IT gremlins after midnight. But you said it's fine. They're not going to swell up and turn into loads of computer gremlins. And look what happened. Look what happened, Blank.
They look so cute. I just had to give them a little bit of food after midnight. It's my fault. My bad, guys. But heading back into the match in 40 seconds, very, very shortly. The classic nondescript pillow. We love to see it.
The old land pillow, mate.
The land pillow.
It has to happen.
The dirty white pillow.
Yeah, people love a land pillow. You can always tell the players that excel the land pillow. I tell you what, there is really one weird one that I've seen. The most bizarre land setup I'd ever seen is there's a player that has his chair back rotated. He wants it the other way when he plays stage games. So they have to unscrew the back of the chair, flip it round the wrong way it's supposed to go, because that's how he likes it to feel pushed up against his back.
That's odd.
It's odd, right?
Not sure I feel about that one.
It's a bit backwards, literally.
It is a bit backwards. Literally just trying to destroy his lumbar. I mean, okay, fair enough. Maybe it gets him into the mood of things like, I'm uncomfortable now. Right. I can't be any more uncomfortable in game. Yeah. Right. So, yeah.
I guess so. But luckily, Blank, it's resolved. The problems have been fixed. And we set ourselves up then for the penultimate game. Oh, okay. It's not the same.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
Horrible playing path, I'd say, down towards the southern edge. Really pens a lot of teams into a different location. Mad Bulls, again, like I said, I don't think they would have been going back down to Minas del Sur, Los Higos way. Instead, drop up towards Puerto Paraíso. Influence Rage, I imagine, going to go far up towards Impala. but directly into our penultimate match here for the last chance. Which teams can make it towards the top now, because this is the final stretch, the final run. And again, I would say more than anything, the penultimate match a lot of times is more important than the final one, because you at least need to get yourself close to that boundary to have your final breakout. If FaZe didn't have at least some decent games on their last 2 matches, it wouldn't have been possible over in that survival stage to make it into the last chance here.
No, it's true, man. I think Miramar really is one of those points where if you get here and you go above and beyond, if you really do pull out all the stops, you have that potential for what can be a whirlwind swing of 2 games back to back, and that can be enough. You know, 2 games, definitely more potential for points. Double the amount of points, potentially. It's just the way that goes. Only the 1 game gets a lot harder, gets a lot more awkward. So starting off with your best foot forward now, going into these next 2 games, and forgetting about everything else that's happened leading up to this point is what you have to do. Mentality has got to be at an all-time high, and you have to come out swinging. We need to see confidence for a lot of our squads here, namely Influence Rage, man. If they want to change face now, Blank, I need to see 2 back-to-back games where not only are they fragging, but they are gunning for placements as well. They're gunning for chicken dinners. Gladiators right now just getting gunned more literally as they give up the opening elim to Enigma Galaxy there.
Yeah, if Gladiators, I think, taking this trash drop down towards the south side, especially on a southern circle like this, you gotta expect teams to be around this area. You know that Enigma Galaxy drops off towards that western side. You know Mad Bulls are going to be having a cheeky peek down towards the south side as well. So I think you drop close and try and play a buddy system off the back of that in terms of looting. Again, we don't have to talk about them too much here. Right now, 16th place, impossible run for them. Up towards that northwest side, though, Duxan gets himself nice and situated towards San Martin early on in the game. So ready to head central. Reject as well in a fairly decent position down towards that south side. Certainly not out, I would say, is that 13th position, even down towards 14th with Mad Bulls with 41 points. There's still potential here, which is insane to say that 14th can still get in at the end of 2 days. Right? That is ridiculous. Duxan just about regrouping with one another. It's been a long drop on the parachute, almost immediately pulled there, but will find themselves into a decent spot. Rook on the northern edge towards water treatment, a central team that likes to get themselves penned up inside a compound, defend it as good as possible, put out the outside traps, the defenses, the hot oil, but we'll see what Rook can get done here.
And you'd hope there is a little bit more, even just for themselves, to have a final send-off if it isn't enough to, you know, make it the whole affair and really mount some sort of heroic, unfathomable comeback for Rook. At least you're giving a good test of yourselves on the way out the door. Because they've played some blinding PUBG Mobile. They've had some corkers, some of the shots they've been hitting, some of the actually out of the meta setups they've been using as well. Like you were mentioning with the gas cans and a few of the setups. It's been pretty cool to watch. So their defensive gameplay could definitely still have a bit of a leg up into our last 2 games of the day here. Duxan having a bit of a loot as well as they'll clear out the rooms, get everything tucked away nice and neatly early on. And that's kind of one of the big things, is where's our first fight going to come from? Who will throw us a bone and potentially make the first mistake? Lufa, he's lurking. Okay, they don't clear the angle, Blank, and he peeks off the back of it. Lufa strikes into the first man. Map geometry could work for him, but he's not quick enough in getting behind that AC unit, so he takes a heavy hit there and gets dropped down to the ground from Squash. Inco finding that opening knock, and they're wondering, where's the rest of his team? Where is everyone else?
Yeah, not looking to save him either. Lufa left behind. And I think for Lufa there, yeah, there's big potential, right, where you can actually get yourself a fantastic 1v3 position in that location towards power grid. It's not to be, though. He doesn't cross quick enough, isn't able to find himself into the position behind the AC units, as you were saying. So for the boys on Reject, they'll be down to just those 3 players, and their run becomes much more squeaky in this match. Not quite in stage 2 just yet, but we have a lot of teams down towards our south side. Udo Alliance looking to move upwards. They find Meku on the approach, will take him down. Quick and easy elimination. So already they're on average, right? They found their 1 point of the game, which is better than nothing. And for Udo Alliance, they know they need to do a lot in these last 2 Miramars. Yesterday was not good for them. However, today has to be if they want to maintain their position in that top 5 to go towards the grand finals. Inco, very close towards the top 5. And I do wonder if we're going to have the Inco special from last year. Just finding some good positions. Oh dear. Finding some good positions in the center of the circle and then just squeezing their way into that top 5 at the end of it.
YDO showing you what it looks like to climb a set of Dutch stairs here. It's very steep and very hard. Sometimes you go tumbling back down on your bottom. But he at least will make it the second time around and gets up towards the top. Looking down on Rook now. Okay. Bullet's going to bite him instantly. They've got nades as well. Chucks that one in. Pretty nice, actually, Blank. Good forearm on him. Lands that right on target and wipes about half of his HP off. So YDO probably not fancying really committing to this one as heavily as he had previously. And now Rook are aware of the location as well. So they can try and set up for this, at least keep themselves out of the danger zone. IHC on screens here as well, roaming on in. Okie dokie, Papi Patro, he'd probably be first contact on this one as Zol's looking for the peak over the top of the hillside. Ooh, hang on a minute, Reyes on the swing round the back, actually just burns him instantly, Blank. That's a freebie.
Yeah, I mean, for IHC there, the fact that Zol is just sitting pretty kind of assumes that the rest of the squads are going to be inside the compounds underneath. Demo at least gets up close, has a smoke in his hands, drops it over towards his teammate. Now looks to take a high ground position to maybe take some shots over towards Reyes and Cole over on this side. Looking to lock them in. Remember, IHC needs some big points this game to actually jump up. And they have been a fantastic team. It'd be great to see the Mongolian squad go through to the grand finals, but they've got to find these placement points. They can't just keep scrapping early on and losing teammates left, right, and center. With FaZe off in the distance too, looks a little bit scary. Big Milo picks up Alex on his peak, and for IHC, the days seem a little bit numbered here for them. They're losing players left, right, and center. Luckily, Zol's back up on his feet. And right now, IHC desperately getting their teammates back up into action.
Trying to reset as quick as possible, but they're being barreled down on. FaZe saw an opportunity here to try and strike in the back line, and a few of those connections will rain through, fastly closing the gap as well as they hop behind the steering wheels and drive down onto IHC. So many squads on top of each other there as well. So this fight is basically just a big old dinner bell that is being rung back and forth. Everyone's looking to get stuck into the mix. FaZe being able to pick up a good majority of the elims from it as IHC are melting. They are evaporating the longer this goes on. Demo tries to go for the getaway and at least be the sole survivor of the Mongolian squad as he'll be bruising off in the back of the vehicle and just focusing on going as far away as possible. Hopefully, he doesn't run straight into the awaiting arms of BTR or get backstabbed by Enigma Galaxy. It's quite close by. For FaZe, where's the next fight come from? Now you've won out on that one versus IHC, you're going to be moving into the zone where you'll have Reject Tokyo just a few steps ahead of you.
I mean, for IHC, right, Demo, you're right. He's just sending away as fast as possible. Gets in the vehicle, will not be walking anytime soon, wants to keep the gas running, because he needs to get towards a very, very safe position in the circle and just maintain presence. Needs to get 3 or 4 points on this match in terms of placements. Maybe steal away some eliminations through this game as well to keep them with that springboard going forward. Team Queso getting barraged upon by BTR as they don't allow them to scale up this cliff. Already a vehicle's gone. The monster truck a little bit more sturdy though, able to get over towards the top side.
Mate, Satar has ruined them, Blank. He's been really good today. Like, some of the shots we've seen him hit, especially when he has a DMR in his hands, he's feeling super crisp. Really, really nice to watch. Or even here. It's the tracing, Blank. It's the mechanical skill that you can see he's got down to a T, right? The way that there's a target so far off in the distance, so he's accounting for everything in his mind, but keeping up the tracing, it just looks really nice to watch. So gun skill there for BTR, always being a bit of a blessing for them. Satar again, he proves it, Blank. That's a headshot as well onto Tixi. How does he do it so easily?
Yeah, I mean, you called it perfectly there. Satar from BTR has been a really big standout from that team. Certainly hitting some disgusting shots. Kitsune's rocking up towards Rook Esports. Pretty sure they spot over towards him. Satar once again knocks out Team Queso. Reyes tries to peek out for just a barest second, but he's on it like a swivel at the moment. Pusher goes down to Prepod from up on high. Will fall too. This is the position on the map that both these teams been scrapping over, because this is quite a difficult position on the map to play. You know, you've got crater fields up towards this northern side, hellish spot to play around with. You got the ridge sides down towards the south and the deadly fields on the southwest, which I imagine not a lot of teams would like to see in play. But we're about to see stage 3, where it shrinks up, where these teams will have to go. Some of these teams have heavy committed towards the high ground early on. They want to hold on to it, and we do head further south. So there's fields still in play. A lot of area becomes really, really difficult to hold on to going forward, Jackie.
Yeah, it's not going to get any easier to remain in control of your territory here, with most of the landmass already disappearing and squads duking it out against one another. They're shoulder to shoulder right now in a few of these locations as well, just looking to see who will be left standing in charge of a compound once the dust has settled. Distance on that must have been sickening as well. Brute force being able to get the shots down into the gulch there and find a connection off on Duxan from absolutely miles away. Probably not going to be able to convert it into the full-on elimination, but even then, he still slowed them down a bit, and they're forced to use some of that utility early. Fight here on the hillside as well, with Evos looking over the ledge and seeing what's on the other side. Anything that tantalizes them, makes them think maybe there's some free points on offer here. But they won't over-egg it. They play their cards close to their chest, staying safe for now. And Brute Force just continuing as well to inflict damage down on Duxan.
Duxan definitely crumbling just a little bit, trying to find anywhere they can play from. Brute Force somewhat lucky that this high ground was still in, but again, this is just a full commit from the squad, from the team to the high ground early in the game. They grab it at that point, in which case now they can start to hold it. They have 2 players underneath as well, with Mind and YDO holding onto the concrete, allowing the rest of Brute Force to eventually move into position later on. Binny does find himself a nice shot, but it's quickly answered there by Nanabeche over towards Binny himself, and Rafa will immediately hit the next connection. Flush out that player from Duxan. Remember, these are the guys that are chasing 56 points. Losing a player now this early in the game, not really even that far into the circle either, without a strong spot to play off. That is pretty bad news for them. So many teams just holding on the high ground now, with the ice picks firmly cemented into the walls.
It's going to take all of their strength, all of their energy to stay standing in fights like this, dangling on a knives edge. Fleeke wants to go for the getaway, but he's been slain. Mela in the back line will assault the man and shut him down. So this 2-pronged attack from either side now gives them a good overall understanding of how to approach the fight versus Mad Balls, as you've completely fragmented them. And Frozen doesn't really have any quick backup either. So if he exposes himself, peeks out for any info, you'll be absolutely barraged from so many different positions that he should fall quite quickly. But look at the grouping. Look how many teams that are just on top of one another here. The difference of these squads fighting should come in the next few seconds because of this. Zone moving on further up. Brute Force centered up dead center on it, with one player trapped down in the bottom behind Big Milo and the boys. And the rest of the teams now have to fight on their warpath to get into the new zones. This means that FaZe and Mad Balls, that level of pressure that was on them previously, starts to rise once again. And you're going to be looking to survive and weather the storm on this.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this circle, it's like one of the craziest circles you can get on Miramar as well, with the amount of high ground that's still in play now. Onzen's opts to drop down. I don't know if that was an accident or not. He looks around like he's a bit annoyed with himself there, and I don't think he meant to drop off so early, but FaZe Mela will come down to collect him. Maybe take him back up top side. The Galaxy, though,